of the game, you're too busy or banged up, but he wasn't. He was the true hero when he gets the ball out early, decisive, and he's now the player of the game, gonna be here, but he is an elite quarterback.
Well, he threw.
I want y'all to understand what we're saying here. I want you to understand what you're saying. You're trying to say, I mean, Doug Peterson has to be like an elite surgeon because the part of him that you're talking about causes the problem is the same part of him that we just watched win the football game. So how do you become an elite surgeon and cut each of those men away from each other? That's what makes Carson Wentz him, that he believes he can make every play. What you have to do is get him some easy plays, easy drives, so you can get the ball out of his hands. Don't leave it up to him, and then let him do what he does later on when he needs to. You can't get rid of that.
Well, we saw him throw that dime to Boston Scott. We saw him throw
his 2-4.
Yeah, first 300-yard passing game for Carson Wentz this season. You know what? We're going to talk.
Sunday at 9 a.m.
Well, the Giants, it looked like they might have had this game in the bag, but that was not the case. Daniel Jones, though, he had a couple really impressive drives. He also had that run where he almost scored the touchdown, an 80-yard run. The Turf Monster got him on that one. But 2 touchdowns, 1 interception tonight. I thought the Sterling Shepard touchdown drive was really impressive for him at the end of the game there. He was 7 for 9 on that drive. But the defense and Evan Ingram, that drop, obviously looms large in this loss for the Giants. So, Joe, what's your takeaway just from Daniel Jones' performance tonight?
Well, when you watch Daniel Jones, you see a lot of good things, and I think he's making nice progress towards trying to be that franchise quarterback that the Giants want, but he's still got to eliminate some of those boneheaded plays, and I think the Giants' offensive line needs to do a lot better job protecting Daniel Jones, but Daniel also needs to realize sometimes that when that protection is breaking down, he's got to do a better job with ball security on the football. We saw him fumble the football on a sack again in the pocket, but generally, overall, I would say the decision-making was pretty solid. He made it some nice throws, but if he could take a few more shots down the field, kind of stretch that defense a little bit more, I think it's going to open up some things underneath, and then eventually the Giants are going to be able to get some rushing yards out of some of their running backs, and a young quarterback's best friend is always a good running game. It'd be nice if the running game showed up for the Giants one of these weeks.
Well, Joe, you made some good points, but you also fail to realize he can't make great decisions because the same offensive line can't block in the run game. They showed up a little bit in the fourth quarter, but pretty much for the first 3 quarters, you know, they couldn't get anything going. I think Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback. I just believe he's on a piss poor team right now that is young, that can't do it. But then you also, you know, Michael Irvin would say Joe Burrow is doing it exceptionally well, but Joe Burrow is on a better team. They have a better offensive line. They have better weapons on the outside. All he has is a tight end and sometimes 1 or 2 receivers. You saw with Shepard just coming back after being missed. He looks better, but he's just a young guy that just needs a little bit more time and better players around him.
Yeah, and a great throw and play, touchdown to Golden Tate right there, giving him the opportunity to make those plays. You did see some good things from Daniel Jones, but it doesn't matter what you saw. It doesn't matter about what shots he took down the field. The only shot Daniel Jones is going to be taking is from everybody for falling apart on that run. Oh, my God. You can say, hey, he'll never live that down.
That's so mean, Irvin.
There was nobody around him.
Oh, man.
Hey, oh, my God, look at this right here now.
That Turf Monster, like, I'm telling you. Right, here goes.
Hey, there it goes. What happened there? Oh, my God. Look, it's almost like he psyched himself out. He was about to get caught. Right. He psyched himself
out. His hamstrings.
Oh, my God.
His hamstrings gave out.
That was a rough one, Joe.
That is the one right there.
He was a big Steve Smith fan. I was wondering if Steve taught him that one.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Hey,
when you do something like that on Thursday Night Football, Monday Night Football, that will be there forever. Forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Especially considering that they lost the game,
Joe,
Steve.
Yeah. Joe, I expected that coming from you. You think I'm going to throw a shot back at you, but I'm not, buddy. I'm not. Look at that.
Oh, I appreciate it. That's love right there.
Well, we have more where that came from. We have some next-gen stats as well that covered Daniel Jones's incredible run there, just without the finish. But he fell a little short, so 2020 got him. Pat Mahomes was watching. I mean, I can't even say anything because I would never be able to run that far either. So, hey, Patrick Mahomes owning himself there. Stephon Diggs, he tripped the same way people do in scary movies when they're running from the villain or the bad guy, and that is so true. So on point. DK Metcalf. Daniel, pick up your feet. And that's so true. That was the problem. It was like his body was moving faster than his feet at one point, and then it was just all over. So he's going to get a lot of flack for that coming up. But the Cowboys there moved to second place after the Eagles win. They're now 2-4-1 on the season, 1-1 in the division with 2 more division games coming up. They have the Cowboys and the Giants as well. So after tonight, I see Irv still laughing there. But do we think any different at this point of the NFC East, Joe?
No. This is exactly the type of game we expected to see as these two teams were battling for first place in the NFC East. It was sloppy. There was mistakes all over. And in the end, the best quarterback won the game because he willed his team down the field, made some nice plays to give him a chance, and they ended up winning down the stretch. But this really doesn't change my mind. This only solidifies my opinion of the NFC East as being easily the worst division in football. And unlike what Irv wants to tell us about how the Cowboys are going to be able to surge and this is going to be some great division by the end of the season, this is the division exactly who we thought they would be. And they might even get worse as the season moves on because I don't see a lot of room for growth when I'm watching a game like this.
You ain't lying right there. I mean, I feel you and I agree with you. The NFC East is not the great division that we once have known, and even Irv doesn't want to admit it, but listen, the Cowboys are in trouble. They're turning on their coach. Yes, they have the easiest schedule. They also, their defense is pretty easy as well. So, I mean, they go hand in hand. This is going to be ugly. One of these teams is going to go to the playoffs, and guess what's going to happen? They're going to get bounced right on out the playoffs. So don't, listen, by the middle of the season, Smitty's travel company will be letting you know where you can go and what discounts I can get you.
Listen, Steve, you guys, I certainly have said, and I'll say it here, that I think the Eagles are the front runner for the East, and they are, well, hopefully continue to get people back because we saw Deshaun Jackson came back, and I thought that was, we saw Deshaun Jackson come back, and I thought that was big, and they worked him in earlier, but then we saw him leave again. So, you know, so with the injury. Yeah, it was for me, that was a good game. And I know you guys, you talk about the mistakes. I thought that was I thought that game shows a lot for the Eagles. The Eagles battled. That one throw, that touchdown to Ward, that was an excellent throw. Not a good throw, not a great throw. On that little Jerry Rice pass to the corner of the end zone, that was an excellent throw, man. And he continued to do things like that. The Eagles will certainly win the division. I just don't know how far they will go in it, in the playoffs.
Steve?
Hey, Irv, you know who can't make that throw?
Oh, no.
Who can't make that throw? Andy Dalton?
Come on, you hear me? Andy Dalton can't make that throw, that's for sure.
Dalton taking fire right now.
The Cowboys didn't even play tonight.
Andy Dalton. Hey, Andy Dalton is just sitting home, trying to have him a nice moment at home.
Andy Dalton didn't do anything.
Right here.
He didn't do anything to you tonight.
He's sipping on a little bourbon. And
down in the corner, Baker Mayfield.
Right.
All right, so the Giants, they lose this game. Joe Judge, Philly guy, had some family.